All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are here, of course, with episode number 14 of the Pig Show. I'm excited. I have the young gun, the Italian stallion, the Zerg monster, the man whose Zerglings always find their way into mineral lines. It's Reynor. How you doing, man?
Hello, I'm doing good. Thank you.
It's
Good
awesome to
morning.
have you
Good
on the
morning.
show. We
Thank you.
had to postpone it yesterday. A bit,
Yeah,
bit of a sleep in, but
yeah, that was my bad. Apologize.
no worries, man. It's good. I'm just so excited to get you on. Did you get a chance to watch any of the show with Cyril last week?
Yes, I watched a bit of it.
A little bit.
The yeah,
I hope we get
it was
more dark secrets from you. Maybe we'll
oof.
see.
We'll
You've
see.
got
We'll
to
see.
you've got to outperform him now.
Yeah,
We got the two rivals back to back in these 2 weeks.
true. You should get Clem next week.
We'll get Clem next week. The young gun
So it's
man, dude.
triple rival.
He's on fire right now. You've been having some tough matches. I watched you play 2 days ago actually, and
Yeah,
so you're tweeting about Widow Mines, man. Having a tough time in Zerg vs Terran right now, yeah.
I completely suck in that matchup. I think my PVZ and ZVZ is like 2 leagues higher than my TVZ at the moment. I can't really figure out why. I don't understand. I feel like I'm playing very good, but then I explode two mines every game, so maybe I'm not playing that good.
It's hard, man. I feel like right now we're seeing innovation looks kind of unstoppable. A whole bunch of the Terran players are all just coming out and looking really good. Gabe's looking incredible,
Yeah,
as well. It's kind of weird, I guess. Obviously, we used to see a lot of close matches, like last year, and then there would be
yeah,
like this sharp drop off point where you'd hit a certain amount of brood lords, and then it would kind of be your game to throw away as the Zerg, right?
yeah,
Um, and I think a lot of people would go, "Oh, it's unfair. The brood lords were too strong," but now it's kind of shifted, and it's still very close in the early stages, but it feels like there's a drop off point where that army supply for Terran hits like 150 supply, where it's really hard for the Zerg to get good fights.
yeah. Especially with Muras. Like I've been saying for 3 weeks that I'm never gonna play Muras again. And then I like win 2 games in practice, and I'm like, oh, Muras are good again. Then they suck. So I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play Hydras every game now. Because once the Terran reaches 200 supply with 3-3, and they split their army mines and Thors and stuff, it becomes very hard. I think, with
Yeah,
Muras.
it feels like if they get that fourth base up, right, they've kind of just got so much stuff pumping out, and like there's only so many
Yeah.
counter attacks and run bys you can do with your Zerglings and your
Yeah, you
Banelings.
can't really deny their bases too much anymore because they just leave mines around the map. They put sensor towers and you can't really do too much. Even with Muras, you don't really do damage anymore.
Yeah, dude, it's actually crazy because I feel like we used to see mutas get out of control, but now even when you see mutas bouncing around, everyone macro is so hard now. It's not quite the same.
Yeah.
It's still a real knife fight though. There's definitely still back and forth matches and that sort of stuff. Do you think this is? Have you ever had like a really tough time in a matchup before, like Zerg versus Protoss before? Because I feel like ZVT was always your favorite matchup, right?
Yeah, I feel the same. Like I wasn't really losing uh how much was it? Like 1 year ago? I mean even maybe less in TVZ, especially against the non-Koreans. But I guess they improved, I stay about the same. So yeah, I need to really fix my TVZ. But yeah, I didn't really struggle too much in any matchup like this. I think this is a first for me. Because
I
usually when I
yeah.
practice it, I just improve and then manage to sort it out at the end. But I'm not sure about this one.
It's scary, man. I'm watching it at home and I'm just like, oh man, I wish I could play Terran like this because like it looks very different, you know. Marines
Yeah,
look really powerful, like in the hands
yeah,
of basically. It just seems like there's a select few elite Terran players who I'm watching at the moment and going, damn, that like they're so good at keeping their thumb on the Zerg player. It's kind of interesting to see what comes out of that. Like I feel there's still always a push and pull, right? It's like you're kind of fighting to make them look at the wrong area at the wrong time, and they're trying to do the same thing with you, right? And they're trying to micro it out, and like things can still turn upside down very quickly, right? Like it used to be a lot of people complaining about the banelings coming in when the Terran's too busy dealing with backstabs and like just clearing out the Marines with some good hits. But it seems like it's kind of the same complaint from Zerg players at the moment, but it's like you're not looking at a Widowmine
Yeah.
gets 30 banelings.
And it's the opposite now. I have to look at more things than Terran actually. Because they have random mines around the map, and if they drop me and they attack me, I have to look at the run by, the drop and the attack, and they just look at the two armies, you know. So most likely something is gonna explode.
Holy shit. Did
Yeah.
you watch Dark Tasia the other week on
Yeah,
PSL?
it's real close, man.
What was going on? Roach, Hydra, Lurker, Viper from Dark on
Yeah,
Nightshade? What the hell,
some
man?
high level pretending. I I don't think that's it.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, this is some shit I do on the ladder, like, because it's fun and old school. But like, I'm like, I would never imagine you would do this against a top level Terran player. And Tasia kind of showed
yeah,
why not, right? Like, he kicked his
yeah.
ass.
You can go like a Link Bane Lurker or something like that, but I don't think you can go Hydra Roach Lurker. I don't think that's it.
Feels like you just lose to your supply cap, right? Like, it's like,
Yeah,
what are you gonna do? Like, you'd have three lurkers covering a base, and the Marines mortar's like, all right, scan, run in, kill the lurkers, kill two hatcheries, and run away. And it was like, oof.
yeah.
Who's your favorite player to watch at the moment to like just like you enjoy, maybe you learn strategies from? You like watching bit of Rogue, bit of Dark, bit of Serral?
You know, Cyril doesn't show too much anymore. Um, I get my hands on a few replays if I can. But yeah, maybe the Koreans, but I'm not even sure. I don't watch too much anymore. Like I watch them, then I see what they almost lose to Tasia and I turn it off. So yeah, I don't really have too much inspiration at the moment. Just
Oh man, Tasia did look good in that series, but yeah, it's interesting. I find it really fascinating with the way StarCraft kind of shifts and changes, and you can feel undefeated, like unstoppable in a matchup for a while,
yeah,
and then it's just like, oh shit. The other race figures some shit out. The execution gets tight. Some balance changes. I guess while we're on the topic, why not actually?
yeah,
Widow
why?
Mines do build really fast. They got a proposed change that they're planning to put through, which is Widow Mines will become invisible without drilling claws the moment the armory kicks in.
Yeah,
But
I think they actually confirmed that, didn't they?
yep, they just confirmed that that's going to go through. So
Yikes.
I I'm like happy to see some changes. I think what doesn't fully add up to me about that change is, do you remember Widow Mines used to build a lot slower, and
Yeah,
they took like 9 seconds off the build time or something. It used to be like 30 seconds of Widow Mine. Now it's 21 seconds, I think. I could be
yeah,
getting my numbers wrong. There was like a massive, like 30% build speed boost because they took away the invisibility. So I'm kind of like, man, it's this thing where Widow Mines are a powerful unit. You can have one reacted factory and it can pump out a lot of Widow Mines. I kind of like them bringing back the permanent cloak. I didn't really like them revealing themselves that much, but I think they might need to look at slowing down the production speed of the Widow Mines so they
yeah.
can't get out.
Especially because I think we're gonna have to open roaches now for a few games, so they don't just go into straight into Widow Mines because they do that sometimes.
Yeah.
And even for the creep nerf, you might need to open roaches, and it's just tough. I need to try it, but I'm not a fan of roaches.
Yeah, it felt like I mean, Terrans are so happy going Banshee as standard right now. And I feel
Yeah,
like Roach openings just aren't good against Banshee openings because you can't even pretend you want to pressure. Like, if you go across that map, like, you're losing a lot of Ravages unless you really trick the Terran player.
yeah. Like there's a lot of stuff that destroys roach opening. Like 3CC into one Banshee just completely destroys the roach opening because they have a push with tanks. They have
Mm.
three roaches and 20 links, and what are you gonna do? No, and you're behind economically. And it's not lit.
Shit. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how you progress in the matchup, and
Yeah.
I want to see all in Reynor just doing Bly builds and doing some wild proxies and things. I want to see
What
some.
about some TVZs maybe?
Yeah,
We're
bring.
gonna play Terran against the Zergs, Toss against the Terrans, and Zerg against the Toss.
Hey, your off race is pretty good, man. You'd be the first player to finally do it. You heard Flash announce that he's going to start playing random in Brood War, right?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. That's good.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because his wrists are all messed up and he just is like gonna be a cheesy bastard or something. He's like, I can't play. I don't know. Maybe he just thinks it'll be really cool, but it would be so sick if we actually had a StarCraft 2 player. Like, I would never advise you to do that, seriously. But as a fan, I'm like, I want to see you play Terran, Protoss, and Zerg and just race pick each matchup. That would be sick.
You know, I might try that. Like my TVZ is actually on point now. I feel
Yeah?
like I can beat most of the guys. I don't think
What
I can beat Yona yet, but I
what
can
sort
beat
of
most
MMR
of
do you
the guys.
think? Like 6'5"? 6'4"?
TVZ 6-6, I think now.
Ooh, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean I don't
Damn.
really do anything special. I take bases, I leave mines around the map. That's it.
It's my favorite thing when someone off races is they always do the most frustrating things to play against because like
Yeah,
the shit that pisses you off, you just take it and you
yeah.
do it.
That's why I'm good in TVZ. I just leave mines around the map and I take bases. No one can stop me.
Dude, like whenever I watch Scarlet play Protoss versus Zerg, I'm like, yeah, this is a real Zerg player playing Protoss. Like
Yeah,
she just
for
does the
sure.
most abusive, confusing. Like she always tricks you. She always is bringing out random mass oracles. She always shows you one thing, does something else. She's like, yeah, I'll do a stalker drop into double Stargate Phoenix because like it's the one thing you'll never expect.
I
And I'm
know.
like,
Yeah,
nah. She knows how we think. It's not fair.
that's true. Yeah.
You're not really a very cheesy player though, and you are someone who I
No.
think has got a bit more predictable in the last year or two. Even actually, I mean, Cyril last week. I don't know if you caught it. He did say that you're easy now. You're easy to read because you're predictable. You're not as wild as you used to be, and that he can.
Oh,
He said
we'll
I
see
believe
about
his
that.
read you like a book. I believe he said. He said I can read Reynor like a book.
I think so. We'll see when we play. I think we're gonna play in TSL maybe. If I can manage to beat Barding and he can manage to beat Vanya, then we're gonna play. And I'll show him.
Damn, man, I didn't actually realize you guys were lined up in that bracket. I'm opening that up right now to
Yeah.
take a little gander at it. So, are
I
you
don't
playing
think he.
Parting
I don't
next?
think.
Did you say?
Yeah. I don't think he knows what I'm up to lately.
Ooh.
So good stuff.
Dude, Parting's a hard opponent for ZVP. I hope your Cannon Rush. Who's your Cannon Rush practice partner?
Who
Secret.
knows?
All right. No secrets. No secrets. It's all good. Um, that man's a wild man.
Is
It's like either no scout, at all, into like some greedy ass opening, or it's a Cannon Rush. One or the other,
yeah.
and you
True.
never know which one's coming, man.
Gotta flip the coin.
You get a drone scout versus that boy, man. I've got to bring the drone scout back. That's what I think.
Yeah, I drone scout in TVZ actually nowadays. I'm not sure if you saw it, but a few games I drone scout because I
Nice.
don't want to lose the proxy draft anymore. So I just
Ragnarok was doing it as well on the weekend. He was like just scouting every proxy location with his drone.
yeah.
You go 17 hatch when you do that, right?
No, I still go 16. I think
Oh,
17
you
is
still go
just better.
16. Okay. Ragnarok was doing 17. I'm not sure what's more efficient, but I guess you
That's
want to make
pretty.
sure your queens start at the same time, right?
Yeah, because you have the minerals anyways. You have minerals for 4 links and 2 queens anyways. So I don't really see a point in going 17 hatch. I think it's just to style.
Fair enough. Makes sense. It's still the old school. So obviously we're talking a bit about everything that's going on right now. Let's actually take a jump back and do a little bit of storytelling. Of course, you've been playing for quite a while now, literally
Yeah,
forever. You're
yeah,
18 years old now, right?
almost,
Almost. When's your birthday?
almost. July 1st.
July. Oh right, damn. That's coming up, man. So the crazy thing is, there's not many people who aren't 18 yet who can say they've been GM for what, like 6 years? You're like what, 12, 11 years old when you hit
Yeah,
GM?
yeah.
That's a long
11,
time
almost
ago.
12, I think.
Four
Yeah,
years ago, Valencia
jeez.
2016 was when you first hit the quarterfinals of a big
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah.
That's crazy,
That,
man. I
that was a
remember you
nice.
you were a little kid, dude.
Yeah.
What was that like? That tournament, and then I guess also it'll lead into, we can talk a bit about not being allowed to compete afterwards for like 2 years, which is terrible. But what was
Yeah, that
that?
was.
What was that experience like? You didn't know you weren't going to be able to compete at that point. They were going to bring in that rule.
Yeah, no, I was really sad after I saw the rule, especially because I did so well in Valencia. It was really depressing to play online. I was playing Proxy Tempest almost every day because it was just depressing to not be able to play. So I was playing as many online caps as possible. But yeah, that wasn't the same thing, So I
Yeah.
didn't really have too much motivation, but I kept practicing. I guess that was the good idea. Yeah, but it
Yeah.
was very sad.
When you were finally allowed to play, it was like you had a fire, lit under
Yeah,
your ass. You're like, I can
I was
finally
very
play. Like, let's go, man.
yeah.
I think it was only Cyril who knocked you out in your first year of WCS tournaments, right? It was always him that
Yes,
eliminated you.
yes. I still have the record that I hold. That is very personal. I am very happy about that one. That I only lost series to Cyril in WCS.
Oh, you still got that?
Yes,
Even now, today?
yes.
Oh, what the shit? I assumed somebody had beaten you at this point. What the hell, man? That's a
No,
sick
no.
record.
Yeah, I'm very happy about that one.
Damn. That's awesome,
Okay.
man.
Yeah,
Um so let's go right back to actually when you before you knew you were going to be age restricted. Basically they said you need to be 16 years old, otherwise it's like child labor or something to do with
yeah.
a law or something like that, right? But you rocked up to Valencia. Can you remember much of that tournament run, or is it all just kind of like a blur of excitement?
The 2016 one, or
The 2016 one, way back.
yeah, I remember everything about it.
Yeah.
It was it was amazing. I actually didn't expect to do so well, obviously. And I just rolled up in the tournament, beat Mana, beat Vortex. Yeah, that was just very exciting. But I had no clue what I was doing. I was watching the games the other day, and I was going link Mura every game in CVC, like a monkey, still winning games. Yeah,
Well, that's it,
that was
man.
very exciting.
That's your style. It's you were yeah, you just wanted to attack a lot.
Yeah,
Lings running into every base, super YOLO, but like it was so exciting to watch. Even you a year and a half ago, I think there was a lot of risky builds you would do.
yeah,
A lot of
definitely.
openings where I'd go, oh, whoa, that's kind of crazy. But if the moment you'd get your Lings running around the map, you'd be able to micro your way through.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've changed a lot now. Like, I feel like a solid player now. I don't really cheese anymore, especially because I don't know how to cheese much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
So
you were
yeah, I
ever
think I've
really a
changed a lot.
cheeser, right? But you'd cut
Ah,
corners. You'd be a little bit
I
greedy.
got
I
it.
mean, yeah.
20 link, 20 drones, mass link plus one.
Okay,
That's very
actually,
close to cheese.
actually, yeah. Like, all right. Even recent series, I guess we can talk a little about what Neuropugnancy, winter finals versus Cyril, right?
Yeah,
The final game.
that was a build on the fly. I was like, why don't I do this? And it worked.
That was yeah, that's classic. That's some Reynor risk taking there. I mean, there's something powerful about mixing in some crazy plays, right? You do that
Yeah.
once in a while, it keeps your opponent guessing.
Yeah, I think I go back a bit to my old self when I play Iona, and it's really fun. So I do dumb stuff that shouldn't really work. It's like Denver. It shouldn't really work, but it maybe can work. That's the Denver style.
Oh my god. This is like I always thought Denver was like kind of solid. You guys think he's a little bit cheesy, a little bit wild?
You should ask Lambo.
Well,
No,
Lambert
I mean,
Lambert always holds back his opinions, right? He's not judgmental at all.
yeah, I think Denver managed to trigger us all at some point. All the Zergs. He got all the Zergs. I know he got Iona as well. So the single G in a game. I mean, see, he got him good.
All right, so we've actually got the inside secrets from the pros. So if we only see a single G from Cyril, it means he's
Yeah,
fuming. He's a little bit triggered. You don't get
you
that
know,
second G. Oof.
yeah, usually when he misclicks, he goes G and then he puts another G if he actually wants to GG. So if you see him go G only, he's fuming, man.
Oh shit. I love that, man. I love that. Obviously, I mean, you guys all know each other so much. You've all developed so much as players, but yeah, it's funny when you go back and watch old games. You mentioned you went and watched the old games from that DreamHack
Yeah,
run when you were young, and I went back like a few
it-
months back and I watched some old games of
terrible.
myself, and it's just crazy builds back then, man.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like I had no clue what I was doing. Actually, no clue. I was just running in links. It was fantastic.
I think
Plus
that's
one to Muras, keeping bailing nest like a monkey, making it work. Can't believe it. But then Snoot blasted me because he actually knew what to do. Where's my style?
yeah.
So,
I mean, he's like the master of preparation, and he just
yeah,
knew exactly how to hard counter you. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
dude. Good times though. I mean, that was obviously a huge win, so it's super exciting. Do you remember getting nervous though? Like you say, you don't know what it was like. You know, like what you were doing strategically, but you can remember it all. Do you think there were crazy nerves, or were you just like enjoying it and in the moment at the time?
Actually, I never get nervous at the offline events, and it was the same back then. I just got nervous a little bit on the stage because it was the first time. But after that, no, I really don't get nervous at offline events.
That's cool, man. This is something like
Yeah.
some players just
At
got
BlizzCon, at BlizzCon, slightly
a little
nervous.
bit more at BlizzCon. Okay,
It's just a massive arena, yeah. Uh, Slightly more.
yeah. The audience, the sound comes and rumbles down to you guys at BlizzCon with that stage set up where you guys and I can make myself gigantic. There we go. That's back to roughly how it should be.
Massive.
Apologies, everybody, as well as Reynor. Guys, I think we are back. Give us a thumbs up in chat, slap down a bacon, or whatnot. Oh, Reynor, guess what? By the way, you know
What?
I've still got an emote of your head, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, I
Nice.
literally am neuraling you in chat. If you've got the chat open right now,
Yes.
I can neural you.
Yeah.
I can mind control.
It's a sick combo.
That's what we're trying to do. All right, thank you so much. Sorry for the disruption, everybody. We are back and good to go. So while we're here, let's go. So we were just talking about a whole bunch of different little things, but let's kind of, I guess, pivot the conversation and move it in a different direction since we've got a little reset.
Mhm.
Um, do you play any sport? You do any hobbies outside of StarCraft? You got to spend a lot of time practicing as a pro gamer. What do you do for fun at the moment, man?
I I'm doing the gym. I'm going to the gym. I mean, I just have a home gym, so I'm not really going to the gym. Just the gym coming to me. So I just do that.
Home gym's
Yeah.
the best, man. I
Yeah,
love
it
going. I love
is.
it at home. I don't
It's
like
a
having to
Red Bull
travel.
gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. Especially now you can't really, so
What sort
and
of
the gyms are
what
closed.
sort of workout do you focus on? What do you do? Just like a little bit of like dumbbells? Do you do like push-ups, body
Yeah,
weight
yeah,
stuff?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I do all of that stuff. Actually, Harrison made me my program.
Oh, is he like he's
Yeah.
your personal trainer?
Yes, I asked him for tips and stuff. Since he's massive, he's an expert, I think.
Okay, this is like, you know what I just realized? That's actually crazy because Hassam's pretty fit. He knows a bit about working out. Don't
Yeah.
you think he should have that as like it's like a goal or like a service? It's like, a do you want a personal workout training plan from Harstam? You know, you subscribe to his like tier one Patreon or
Well,
something.
I'm gonna
Like,
tell him that that's a sick idea. I'm gonna tell him
yeah,
that he's gonna like it.
I reckon heaps of people would jump on that. I would jump on that, man.
Yeah, I think it will work.
Well, hopefully he gets on it. I want to see everybody be rich and happy, man. So, uh, yeah, I do like a lot of just jogging recently. Like
Mm-hmm.
I really like rock climbing, so I've been
Oh,
getting into
really?
that in the last few years. I find that's like just really fun because it's like heaps of nerds actually climb. I always run into people. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not famous by any means, right? Especially in Australia, StarCraft's not all that popular. But like I've met maybe 10 different people in climbing gyms who've been like, "Hey,
That's a
are
lot.
you pig? Do you know like do you? And I'm like, "What the hell?" So there is like the highest density of fit nerds are in climbing gyms, I swear. Because there's a lot of like problem solving, but it's just like a really fun way of working out. But I can't do that at the moment because of isolation, right? So
Yeah,
I've been getting into just jogging more, just going for like longer and longer runs. Do you do any cardio?
yeah, a bit, not too much. I just
Just
prefer to
jogging,
lift.
or do you do like
Yeah, yeah,
burpees? What do
jogging.
you do?
Yeah, jogging. I have
Okay,
a treadmill. I do that.
nice. I don't mind the treadmill. I always hit up the treadmill when I'm traveling. Do you tend to have like a routine of still going for like a jog in the hotel gym when you're at events?
Yeah, I was doing that in what was the last tournament? Yeah, I did
In
it in
Katowice?
Montreal. Yeah, but I didn't do it in Katowice. I was chilling in Katowice.
I think you guys were in
I
the same hotel as us. It had like the worst gym of all time. So
I no clue.
it was like this little dark room with like two treadmills and a bike machine and a rowing machine.
Nice.
What was really great, it was right next to Todd's room. And he, Todd is like, he does not like noise. He wakes up at anything. He's always complaining about the heat or the
Really?
noise.
Aye, aye, aye.
I didn't know it was him in there, but I went there to work out one morning at like 6 in the morning, and I'm running on the treadmill. And it's one of these shitty treadmills that like shakes and it like makes these big loud banging noises as you run on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I feel bad. I hope that they shouldn't. I'm like, nah, they wouldn't have like a guest's room right next door with their. Later that day, Todd's just like complaining to me about how some fucker is running at 6 in the morning and it woke him up.
No way.
And I'm like, oh
That's it.
shit. And he made
Oh
them move
no.
his room. Oh
Oh
man.
yeah, yeah.
European gyms in the hotels are often pretty shitty. Like you go to the
Yeah.
BlizzCon Montreal, it's usually a pretty sick gym. The
Yeah.
Americans they all, Arnold Schwarzenegger life, man. But Europeans it's like we'll give you a treadmill next to a swimming pool or something. You're like, what? Why is there a treadmill next to a swimming pool? This is this is weird. Like the Katowice hotel we used to stay at had that, and it was really weird. There'd just be like old dudes sitting in the pool, and you'd be like running next to them. It was really weird.
Aye, aye, aye. You know the gym in Korea was sick as well. Don't remember if it was
Oh, was it
GSL? No, no, it was not GSL.
Pyeongchang
Versus the world.
or like last year GSL versus the world or something?
Last
BlizzCon?
last year, BlizzCon, I think. BlizzCon. Actually,
Mm.
I'm not sure anymore. But
We were in
yeah,
a
one of the
sick
gyms was
hotel
sick.
for BlizzCon. I can't remember what the gym was
Oh
like.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, no. Then I'm wrong. It was GSL versus the world.
Ah, okay.
The gym that I mean. But the hotel was sick last year for BlizzCon.
Dude, how nice was
The
that
best
hotel?
hotel.
They gave
Yeah,
us
best hotel.
uniforms in the gym. Remember? They had like a uniform. They like
Oh
literally gave
really?
you a shirt. And none of us took it because we didn't speak Korean, so we just like walk into the gym and maybe sign our name. I don't know if you went in, but every single Korean person in this hotel would wear like hotel branded shorts and a t-shirt that they would give you workout clothes, so you didn't have to make your
Really
own clothes
fantastic.
sweaty.
That hotel was sick. It was fantastic. I think the best hotel I've ever been.
It
It was
was
just
really
amazing.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was like you go to the breakfast buffet and they just like cooking you steak and stuff. I'm like, ooh,
Well,
all
the
right.
breakfast there was fantastic. I love to have breakfast in the hotel. I don't really have breakfast at home. When I'm in the hotels, I go ham, man. The- Yeah, sick, sick
that's
stuff.
that's the thing. Like, yeah, I'm kind of the same. I always have a really simple breakfast when I'm at home, and recently I've been getting more and more into like trying to have good rhythms and like I try to have like organized stuff to be efficient, to get the most energy. Have like don't want to have big energy spikes and then energy drops. But yeah, man, you look at like a good breakfast buffet when you're at a tournament and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna eat like 6 times the amount of food I would normally eat. I'm gonna
Yeah,
smash it.
yeah, for sure.
I do you try to like follow a diet or anything like that, or is there anything you try to avoid like normally or when you're
Yeah,
at tournaments?
yeah. I just don't like to eat too much junk food. I don't think we really do that at home. Like we have pizza every once in a while. I just try to limit my calories, so I don't really eat too much, and I don't really drink my calories anymore.
No sugar.
Especially, yeah, not really. Like I used to put sugar in my coffee and stuff, but I don't really do that. I don't have Coke, all of that stuff. I
I'm a
don't
big
really
fan of
drink.
that, man. I feel like drinking your
Really?
calories, like I love eating, I love food, and I feel like it's such a waste, I'm like I could drink a
Yeah,
big glass of orange juice or I could eat something delicious. I will always choose eating.
yeah, me too, for sure.
Hells yeah. You get that sugar-free Red Bull, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. I was
Ex-
like, make sure you guys send me the zero sugar one. Trying to hit the gym.
That's it, right? It's like, so what's your diet like? Well, I drink 3 Red Bulls for breakfast, and then I like, you put your Red Bull cap on, you like pick up your Red Bull like water or something. I'm like, okay. um, but yeah, no, you've been Yeah, you've been, I think, kind of growing up, traveling a lot, going to hotels and stuff. So I think it's pretty cool. You got like a diet. You've started to work out a bit. Is that like every day, a few times a week? Is there like a certain time every day you do a light
Yeah,
workout
it
at home?
depends on the week. Like there was like 2 weeks ago, I was doing it basically every day. I was just joining the gym, but now I slowed down a bit because of the tournaments and stuff. And yeah, it's like once. I mean, not once, just a few times per week.
Hmm.
It's just not as regular as used to be, but I'm still going to the gym.
Have you ever done like rather heavy lifting where you really try to like put on more weights a lot and like you try to do like lots of bench press and like all of your like shoulder
Yeah,
presses and that sort of stuff? Like have you ever tried to like you're really like, oh, I'm trying to add another 5 kilos this week or something like that? Like, or are you kind of
yeah, and
more chill?
no, no, no. I always push myself. Like I'm trying to. I was trying to do the maximum on the bench because I have the bar and I put the max amount of weight I could put on the bar because the rest wouldn't fit in, and I just did it easily. So I don't think that was a lot. So maybe around 35 kilos or something. But yeah, the bar is pretty small. I should buy a different one. And then on the machine, for the legs, I did 70 kilos the other day. I
Hey.
destroyed my legs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I tried to push myself a bit of ego lifting, you know. Just yeah, yeah.
That's
I like to
funny.
push myself.
Have you ever worked out too hard and then you felt like you couldn't micro properly, like later that day or
Oh,
the
for
next
sure.
day?
Yeah, yeah, that's why I'm afraid to work out before tournaments. And
Hmm.
if I have a tournament, I'm like maybe a run or something. But yeah, just sometimes I go too hard and then my arms are dying. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm an idiot.
I've had the same thing, man. That's something where I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, you actually don't want to work out super hard if you've got to play
yeah,
competitively too much. So I really like. I think there's like a lot of exercise you can do that doesn't necessarily leave you super sore all the time
yeah,
afterwards,
for
right?
sure.
But got to be a bit tactical with it. Do a light workout when you got to be grinding your EPT and your TSL and everything else that's going on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool, man. So that's diet. So like, what time of day do you normally fuel up with like ketchup on pizza? Is that like after a hard loss on ladder, you get like the ketchup out, or?
No, if I do that, it means I'm going insane. I guess you call 911 or something. So if it will ever happen, just destroy me or something. Lock me up. It means I'm completely gone.
You know, I actually did end up I'm sad that you didn't quite hit the goal with your charity
Yeah.
stream the other day because I really wanted to see you eat that ketchup on the pizza. So shame didn't quite get there. I did actually end up eating licorice and pineapple on pizza for my charity stream the other
Was
week.
it good?
It's one of the worst things I've ever put inside my mouth. It was terrible.
Nice.
It was really bad. At first I thought it
I
wasn't
can
that
imagine.
bad like because eating I had a raw onion earlier in the stream was my first goal, which was
Yeah, I saw
terrible.
that.
That was bad, man. But the pineapple and the licorice on the pizza, it didn't start bad, but after I finished the second slice, the flavor hung in my mouth because it was a pineapple pizza. It had triple pineapple and just that the cheese, the sauce, and the licorice. And then I felt like I'd done something bad. Like it's like you pissed on a church or something, you know? It's like you've ruined something sacred. Like it wasn't even
Yeah,
good pizza, but it was so wrong. Licorice and pizza. I
yeah.
felt bad, man.
It just feels bad. Yeah, you need to think of me every time you do that. Like
Oh.
coming in with the slap every time that happens. That's illegal.
Every time you put pineapple on pizza,
Reynor
Reynor
slaps
sheds a
you.
tear. Yeah. Somewhere a part of Reynor's soul just died. Oh.
Yeah, for sure.
You've
I
learnt the hard way about different standards of food. I remember talking to you. I think it was when we were going to fly to LA for BlizzCon, and you said you tried some pasta. You tried to have a
yeah,
pasta dish in Korea, and you were
yeah.
not very impressed.
No, no, not at all. No, no, no. Just terrible stuff all around.
Got to
Like, you
stick
know,
to those
Korea is
local foods,
really,
man.
yeah, Korea is really good food. But once you go out from the local food and you try the pizza or you try the pasta, that's where you fail. You know, you gotta stick to to the good stuff, like the Korean barbecue, chicken, all that stuff. That's really good. They're
Exactly.
not really massive experts at doing the rest.
If I go to Italy, if I'm hanging out in Florence and there's a guy there and he's offering me a kangaroo hamburger or something, I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna walk away, man. I'm like,
Yeah,
don't
I don't
feed me
think
my food. I'm like, I'm here for pizza and pasta and all the good stuff.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. Gotta
that,
stick to the.
all right, cool. So that's kind of cool. I find it interesting because some people have like really weird diet things and stuff, and like when I had Dario on the show, he had like obviously he's had so many wrist issues and stuff, and he's been to like 1,000 tournaments because
Yeah,
he's almost as old as I am. He's an old man of StarCraft, and he like has always got his like bananas and his like healthy food that he's carrying around and his nuts and stuff, and he's trying to make sure his energy levels are all right. But it's kind of cool to see that everyone seems to have some level of like everyone seems to be exercising a bit more, kind of getting some balance in their life. When you're not in lockdown, do you get a lot of time to hang out with like people outside of StarCraft in your hometown, or are you just kind of not there that much? Like, do you still hang out with friends from school?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like in summer, it's every day. If it's not summer, it's every Saturday we go out. Then yeah, I go out with my friends, and then I see my girlfriend almost every day. So yeah, I think I have a good balance.
Does your girlfriend live in your hometown as well?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Look at this well-adjusted pro gamer, man. I wanna grab you and take you back to see like the standard pro gamer at the point in the career which you are like now, but back like 10 years ago, and I'm like,
I can
it's
imagine.
a different thing, man. I guess obviously it's like they were yeah. There's more Mountain Dew, more Doritos, more dark midnight ladder sessions.
Yeah,
Not a lot of money, despite even if you're one of the best players in the world when you go back, right? Like there's the rare cases of the fatalities and the boxes. But yeah, I always think about like Tastosis and Day Nine and these guys back in the 2000s, trying to be pro gamers and stuff with like there's just so little prize money, and I'm like, damn, mad respect.
yeah,
It's cool to see that like you can win so much money. Like, I mean, pro gamers now, the fact that you actually aren't fighting for like it used to be what, 1,000 euros if you got top 8 at a dream hack or something, and you have to beat like 5 Koreans to get there. Like, it
yeah.
was
That was
really
insane.
hard.
Insane. I remember that. Jeez.
So obviously you've had some great success now. You've made it to the finals of BlizzCon. You've had some big wins and stuff. It's kind of interesting. Do you see this as something where you're going to do it forever? Have you thought about like long term, if StarCraft 2 died but there was like a Warcraft 4 and it was this cool new game, do you think you'd hop over, or do you kind of think you'd maybe step back from this world and do something completely out of the gaming sphere?
No, I think I'm gonna stay in the gaming scene. Like I already thought about it. I have some plans. I think I'm just gonna stick in the scene no matter what. I think that's the smartest idea.
Do you think you'd always be a pro player, or do you think you'd try other things?
Not really. Like I mean, you could be a pro. You could be a you can be a lot of things in the gaming scene, right? You can be an influencer, a streamer, a caster, a lot of things.
I
Yeah.
think
So
that's
yeah,
that's cool. I mean, you have a lot of fun, right? You do a little bit of streaming and stuff,
yeah,
but
sure.
I feel like as long as you're kind of having fun, you can. There's a lot of things you can do. So I actually
Yeah.
really like that attitude because for
Also,
some
it's
people,
increasing. The gaming scene is improving every time. Like it's going up for sure. Like the viewer count and stuff. So yeah, I think it's the smartest idea.
yeah, man. I mean, there are YouTubers out there doing so much gaming content. There are streamers, casters, people hosting tournaments, all sorts of things. So who
Yeah,
knows? Maybe 20 years from now, we'll see
gonna be the new
Reynor,
word.
Home Story Cup. You'll have your
Yeah,
apartment filled with nerds playing StarCraft 6 or something, and you'll be running around organizing these events and just being a maniac. I mean, it's kind of cool. You're so young, so you got obviously a lot of space. But I like it when a player does that because I think you're pretty good, on social media and stuff. So I think it's something where you can very easily explore stuff outside of just the win lose pro gaming equation, without necessarily giving up everything that you've built up for yourself. You've built a name for yourself, so that I think leaves a lot of avenues open. I do think that's very far down the track, though. Obviously, not something I think you should be thinking about for a while.
Yeah,
You've got some peak performance going on right now, so pretty focused on play at the moment, right?
yeah, for sure. It's not really thing I'm worried about yet.
In terms of where you're kind of going to be going next, I mean, this year's kind of weird. We don't know how long this is going to go on with isolation. They've announced that they are obviously beefing up the prize pools. We've got all these like online qualifiers and stuff to be announced.
Yeah,
EPT, for anyone who's watching this or listening to this and hasn't caught up with 2020, ESL Pro Tour is the new WCS. WCS doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, basically it's going to be a lot of online stuff and it's going to be very regionalized. So this was recent news. They announced that people were looking at it and a few people were saying, oh my God, Europe gets like a billion more slots than NA and stuff. But a lot of European pros have said they actually think it's harder for them still than an American or a Southeast Asian or an Oceanic player to win money. What do you reckon?
yeah. I think you can't really compare Europe to NA, can you?
Hi.
Come on. In terms of level, average level, like, come on,
I,
can't really do that, can you?
I feel you, man.
It's just facts. I'm not trying to start anything here. Just
Yeah.
facts.
Well, there's depth of talent in Europe which is really cool. Like you look at just one country, like Poland, France, for instance. There's a lot of very good GM players from these countries, right? There's
Yeah.
a handful, a whole handful of top pro players from these countries as well, right? Um, we've also seen quite a few kind of new names start to make their way up in Europe, right? Whereas
Yeah.
unfortunately, just for whatever reasons, and it's been talked about to death, people say, oh, in America, you've got student loans, or, you can't, it's harder to justify because you don't have as much social security being a pro gamer. I feel like a lot of pros get to the edge of becoming really, really good after grinding for a long time. And that's usually when they go, I'm getting a full-time job, I'm finishing school, or I tried to go full-time for a year, but then they kind of throw in the towel because they haven't really had enough success and they don't see themselves earning enough money as a pro. So it's kind of hard for them, but I think it's also heartbreaking for me as a fan because I'm like, man, I just want to see more of those players hang around for another year or two, grinding really hard to get really good, and then
Yeah.
see if they actually develop to that next level. Because I see like a Jon Snow, I see a Panda Bear Me, these guys, and I'm like, man, what if there's just like one more year of just full time grinding, flying out to tournaments, and practicing as hard as they can? I think maybe we're missing out on some of those American gems that could rise up.
Yeah. I think they could catch up. I think someday.
Yeah, I hope so. One day. I mean, they can't just dominate Call of Duty and Madden, right?
Yeah.
We need more Americans. I think it's good for the game. I think there's so many viewers in America, for the English speaking stuff especially and stuff. But there's a lot of very rabid fans as well. So I've been happy that like GSL is now on at a time where it's terrible for Europe on Saturday. Actually, it's not terrible. I guess it's just early morning. Do you get to watch Saturday morning GSL live? I guess that's like
What time is it?
actually that would be like it normally starts at like 6 or 7 a.m. for you. Yeah. So it's pretty bad for you guys, but at least it hits the late night American time slot.
Yeah.
Because for a
I
long
think
time, America hasn't really had a lot of stuff to watch with StarCraft. They've been kind of shafted time zone wise for a lot of the big tournaments.
today it's a late GSL day, right? Yeah, it starts in 1 hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a late one today.
Oh damn, I totally forgot. We got Dark TY parting Maru. Oh my god. Who's winning?
Terrence.
The Terrans? Really? You think
Yeah.
TY will be Dark?
I mean, it depends. I guess TY is he hit or miss. He's sometimes he can do very well. Sometimes he loses to my Offrays. So we will see.
Very specific call out there. I think Dark will beat TY. I do
Probably.
think Maru is like so hard in TVP. I actually think people keep asking me, and Parting has a lot of fans.
Yeah.
If you have a stream, a lot of your fans think you're better than you are always. But Parting's
Yeah.
actually insanely good, and I
Yeah.
think if he got PVZ PvP, he's like a potential champion for GSL in this season or the next season. But I think the moment he runs into like Maru or Innovation or even TY in PVT, it's like I kind of go, man, Parting's getting
Yeah.
really good at PVT. I don't know if he's good enough to beat those guys.
I mean, it's really hard to meme in PvT as well, right?
that's
I
that's
can
the point.
see. Yeah, I can see him memeing his way into PvP somehow. PvZ maybe. Not sure if he can meme Maru. Maybe we'll see maybe some proxy DT or something. It's gonna
I mean,
be
we've
exciting
seen
one.
we've seen SOS do it before, right? Against Maru.
Yeah, why
So
not?
maybe he's just got to go like the super wild matchup and
Y-
go for that.
Yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be fun.
Cool. I'm looking forward to that. That might time out. So I can watch that after I grab dinner tonight. I'm excited. I'm excited, man. Awesome. All right. Well, this has been really cool. So I'm gonna move things through now,
Mhm.
and I want to go back to the beginning a little bit and get a bit of history. So some of the pro players I've talked to were super into lots of like history. They loved strategy games. They played Total War. They loved war games. They played all the RTSs. That's kind of what got them into it. They love this whole idea of being the general, being the military commander. I know obviously you kind of were introduced to it at a crazy young age, right? So you've been
Yeah.
playing since forever. Um, but you even have a younger brother, right? Who's pretty
Yeah.
good now.
Pretty good. Decent.
What is? I mean, obviously your version of decent is different to most of the people
It's
listening.
5-5-5-5.
About 5'5". Okay, so just below GM on EU, right?
Yeah,
Nice,
but
not
he
bad.
plays Terran, so it's a. We all know it's a Terran patch, so I'm not sure if the 5-5 counts.
What's his alias again?
Baby Marine.
Baby Marine. That's it. That's it. Yeah, I totally forgot. And how old is Baby Marine?
Um, Wait, how old am I? 17? He's 14.
He's 14.
He's,
Okay. So did you used to beat him up, or do you guys still
yeah,
fight?
no, not really. We're chill. We play together sometimes.
Were you a douchebag to him growing up?
Sure. That's what toughen him up.
Toughen him up a bit. Maybe he's gonna get better than you, man. Give him a couple years. He's gonna be
Yeah,
like, it's the younger brother who gets stronger in the long run, man. You gotta watch your back.
I doubt it. We're gonna see.
That's
Gotta
it,
give
man.
him the motivation. Gotta give him the motivation.
You beat him up when he's young, and it just makes him tough as
Yeah.
nails. And then yeah. Did you guys so did you grow up playing a lot of games? I know like obviously your dad's been
Oh
super
yeah.
supportive into it. You know, you went to the MYI house and stayed there for a while with your dad back in the day. I remember your parents cheering you on back at that DreamHack 2016 in the front
Yeah.
row. So that's super cool to see as well, right? That's something where you go back 10 years and it's like, wait, your parents they actually understand what a video game is. They're like, don't
Yeah.
disown you when you try to be a pro gamer. But yeah, how'd you get into StarCraft? Was it like, your dad got into it, your whole family was into it, or is it something that you gravitated for another reason?
It's actually really dumb why I got into StarCraft. It's just like it was, I don't remember if it was my birthday or for Christmas. I had to pick a game. And that was like, we went to the game shop, saw the little box, and I was like, man, this cover is sick. So I bought the game. My dad bought the game. So it's not like I got into StarCraft because of some magical reason because my dad was into it or something. No, no. I just loved the
So
cover of the game, and it's
this is
like
the one with
sick.
Tychus, right? With like the cigar in the marine suit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you
You
just
know, the back of the game, you saw all the images and stuff. It's like, this is sick. As an 8-year-old buying StarCraft.
dude, I
Yeah.
remember getting obsessed. Like I can think so much of the boxes of video games and like I like couldn't play the game because my parents were like, "No, you can't play," and I'd just like look at the back of the box and think about strategies or something. I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I also want to make one carrier, one scout, a dragoon, a reaver, and an archon. That seems like a clever army to make. Like the box art. You're
Yeah.
just like, all right. Other than did you play any other games competitively? Do you play that, or is it just been StarCraft? Like, do you play Dota, CS, anything else growing up?
Yeah. No, not really. Like my first game ever was Diablo 2, I think. So yeah, I
Mm.
was playing that with my dad. Yeah, when I remember when I had to go home from school, I was playing Diablo 2 with my dad. That was some good times. Then I bought StarCraft, and like I got pretty much into StarCraft. Like I was bronze for a year and a half, but I was playing a lot. And I remember I took a break of like 5 months because I was about to stop, but then I didn't. I came back, and yeah, I got silver, and then it just went up from there. Like I did gold, plat, diamond in like a week. That gave me a lot of motivation. Yeah, yeah. I was stuck in bronze for a year and a half and silver for like 2 months or something. But then I did gold, plat, and diamond in 1 week,
Oh my
and
god.
master in 2 weeks, I think, from diamond. So yeah, that gave
Were
me a
you
lot of
just like not
motivation.
using hotkeys? Is that why you were stuck in
Yeah,
bronze? Right? You just
I
clicking
have
on
no clue.
things.
I don't know I don't know what happened there. It was bronze and then suddenly diamond. I was like, "Mo,
Oh
man,
my
that's
god.
sick."
That you had some inspiration, man. Something
Yeah,
something came and gave you some inspiration into it. Cool. Dude,
yeah.
that's so sick. I mean, it's something where can you remember the first time you were like getting commentated? Did you used to daydream about being a pro gamer when you were younger? Is it something you just enjoyed getting better and beating your opponents? Like, what's the rush for you? Like, for me, it was a mix of I liked the feeling of improving, but I also love the idea of being able to do a cool play that other people would get excited watching. Like when I watch my favorite player do something cool and I go, "Oh my god!" Watching like
Yeah.
GSL, like I always wanted to give other people the same reaction.
I didn't really know about the whole esport scene about it, like about the game, until I was master, I think. So yeah, it wasn't really for that reason. I just dislike losing, and I'm a really competitive person, so I always try to push myself, for everything I do. So yeah, I just wanted to see how far I could go. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's the reason mainly. And then I discovered the esport thing about it, and yeah, that was even cooler. I got a coach, some good stuff.
Hey, you got a coach?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I had Evaner. He was a Italian pro. He's
mm,
now retired, but yeah, he helped me a lot.
awesome. So, you just did you guys meet through a clan or did you?
No, just I remember it was a offline event that we met. I was like 9 or something. It was like write me in game, and I wrote him in game. Then he was from Florence as well. That's the sick part about it. So we were really close, and yeah, we started. He started coaching me, and he's the one that got me into Mind Sanity, I think.
Oh shit, that's awesome. So
Yeah,
what's his what? How do you spell his alias?
it's wait, I'll write it on Discord.
All right. Oh yeah, right. So how do you say it? Ivana? Ivana?
Yeah, I don't know. I say it in Italian. It's Evaner.
Ivana? Okay,
Yeah,
cool. Oh yeah,
and
that's
I
a
hear about
name.
the English one.
I haven't heard that name in a long time, man. I always feel like names should just be pronounced the way they are in their main language since it's a name, but
Yeah,
people really like to just butcher things and change it. So yeah. Oh, that's awesome, dude. So you guys just kind of would chat. He'd hop in, play games against you, watch your replays sometimes, and just
yeah.
would you rage back in the day and you'd be like you'd shoot him a message like fucking Terran man, this is unfair, or like what was it like?
Uh I think so. Yeah, I told you I'm a competitive person. I don't like to lose, so I was like always mad, and then I used to go on losing streaks. I remember because I was pissed, and I kept playing. That's the rookie mistake.
Oh
You keep
damn,
playing once you're mad.
the rage
16
queue,
losses
man.
in a row. Yeah, I don't really do that anymore because I experienced a guy now. So if I lose that game to to Vanya's off race, that's it for the day.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's a sad thing, man. When people just sit there rage queuing and getting angrier and angrier, and it's like you're feeding the beast. You've got to stop. You know, if
yeah,
anyone's
you
caught
gotta
in that
stop.
cycle, it's so destructive, man. Like you're like, oh, I
I
just
see
want to
my
feel
brother
good.
doing the same.
Oh yeah,
I think, yeah, it's you gotta go through it at some point, I guess.
does he thump the table at all?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes.
he does
That's a
a.
terror move. I know Clem does it a lot too. I'm exposing him now. Jake told
I,
me he smashes the table sometimes.
she probably not like I think Drogo is the king of the smash.
Yeah, for sure.
He's got some good ones.
You know,
Yeah.
creators also has
Mm.
smasher.
Dude, yeah, creator gets super emotional, man.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a player who's very good, but it's like he doesn't. He has such nerve issues. Creators. I find it painful to watch creator compete because he's such a nice guy and he wants to play so good. But you see him like so tense and so nervous, and then
yeah.
he's either
It's not really good to
crying
see him.
or he's
Yeah,
angry at the end of every game, and it's like I don't think you can perform when you're that wound up, right? I think you need to be a little bit loose. You need to be a little bit relaxed as a pro player. I think if you're like,
yeah,
I need to win this game, like you're inevitably gonna throw more games. You're gonna make more mistakes. Like if you kind of hold it too tight, it slips away. You've kind of got to just play. Oh, do we just lose? Are you still there?
yeah.
I think we just lost your camera. Let's
Wait,
get you
really?
back. I think it's rejoining now. You should be right. Let's see.
Is it working?
No, can you just turn like disable your camera and
Yeah.
then re-enable it on the whereby there? Today is what
Come back here.
we dub the day of technical issues.
Should I leave and then come back again?
Yeah, do that. Okay, I gotta readmit you, don't I? Oh, there we go.
Am I back?
We're back.
Nice.
Beautiful. No idea what happened there. But you know what? This is the age of Zoom calls and conference meetings and everyone watching 4K Ultra HD VR adult videos all day while they're stuck in isolation. So
Yeah.
the internet bandwidth around the world has been screwing up. We've got all sorts of weird issues lately. But I mean, it's a special thing that we can have this conversation from the other side of the world.
Yeah.
That's really cool, by the way, with the mentor kind of coach role there. I think when you're very young, especially, that's very helpful because you were playing as such a young player, where
Hmm.
you're not so good at critical thinking when you're younger. You kind of just want to play and headbutt your way through problems a
Oh
lot of the
yeah.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes you need someone else to just kind of say, hey, you got to look at it differently. You got to approach the game differently.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of those moments where it could be when you were starting out, it could be a few years along, it could be in the last 6 months or a year, where you kind of changed your view, like a paradigm shift happened, where maybe you always looked at a matchup a different way, or you were thinking about improving too much when when you were in Masters League at some point. And was there ever any point you remember where you kind of just had to shift your understanding of the game and look at it
Oh,
in a different way?
yeah, I think it happens a lot with me. Like I try to view things as with a different perspective. Like I think it happened recently in some matchups. I think TVZ is a good example. I thought that I was doing like for example, I was playing 2 months ago. I think I was playing like to not die, in TVZ. Then I changed the perspective a bit and I was like, okay, I gotta do 100 drones. I gotta start trading properly. I'm gonna be aggressive, but still didn't work. So I guess I'm
Mm.
gonna try a different thing now. But yeah, it happens a lot with me. Like in different matchups, I just change the view.
Yeah, you kind of have to let go of your assumptions a little bit, right?
Yeah,
I remember like Snoot used to always talk about this where he'd hit a point in a matchup and he'd just have to go back to the drawing board because he's like, look, clearly everything I'm doing is not working. Like I can't change one thing. It's not like, you look at a loss and you go, oh, if I had two more drones, I would have won this game. But like, you're like, no, I need to actually relearn how I look at the matchup and break it down. Um, obviously there's that kind of development early on as well. Do you remember any really early times where you kind of learned to understand that like something really what now is basic? And this is very hard, and I always like to ask this question because I just wonder if any pro remembers, because you're like such an expert at the game now. When you're first learning the game, you're learning some basic shit, like which you don't even think about now ever. Like if a bronze player told you something they just learned about the game as a revelation, you'd be like, it would like hurt your head trying to even think about not knowing that because it's such an assumed thing for you. Do you ever remember being like, oh shit, if you drone while you're harassing with your zerglings, you get ahead of Zerg? Like, do you remember any really basic realizations like that?
this is a pretty dumb one, but I remember when I was in bronze, I was like, "Hey, Dad, why am I making drones if drones are supposed to mine minerals and the drones cost minerals?" And then I realized that I'm pretty dumb, and yeah, then I started making drones. So stuck on my 10 workers every game.
Well, all it does is delay. Like, if you need, okay, so your goal is to build zerglings. You need a spawning pool.
Yeah,
If you're building drones and the spawning pool costs
yeah,
minerals, all you're doing is
slowing them
delaying your
down.
spawning pool. This makes no sense, Dad. What the hell?
Yeah, what the hell? I'm supposed to win the game with units, and if I make drones, I'm just making less units.
That's
Yeah,
like
that's
the dawning of the understanding of like how economy can grow and opportunity
yeah, yeah.
cost and things. It's actually insane. That there's a lot of concepts in StarCraft as well. It's quite funny. I feel like you used to have the approach of feeling your way through the game, and this was I always felt my best when I kind of played like this at tournaments. I always thought it was a bit hard to plan out build orders and anticipate what my opponent was going to do. So I like to be aggressive and play by feel. So when I was competing, I love to nine pool people in every matchup. Well, not Terrans, but every Protoss and Zerg, I would nine pool obsessively.
Yeah.
Because I like the feel of being able to constantly pressure with Zerglings. I love to do big upgraded Zergling plays because I could run around the map and stuff. So I think of like some of the best tournaments I had. Sorry if my phone vibration is coming through there. And it was always me being in my opponent's face and kind of running around and just feeling the game out and not having to think too much. And I always like just having a build order I could just kind of pick and do from the start. And we were talking earlier, you loved upgraded lings, muters. You like to skip the baneliness, just get into the game and then start running around with your zerglings, do a lot of run bys. So when you were starting to swap to where you are now as a player, was that a hard swap to make, to just kind of reinvent yourself as someone who was like, nah, I'm going to go head to head in Roach Wars with Serral? Because like, I remember you trying to fight him, just roach versus roach it. I think it was the first Kiev tournament. And you were like, no, I'll beat him roach versus roach. I don't give a fuck. And it was just, I remember being like, wait, what? He's crazy. Like, I'm like, I love Reynor as a player, but he's a muta guy. He's a Zergling guy. He should stick to what he's good at. But in the year since then, or however long ago that was, you've been getting better and better at all the solid styles. You've still got some of that Reynor flair, the Zerglings running in, but was it hard to kind of change your view to being more of a, I guess, a solid player?
No, because it just happens slowly. It's not like one day I'm the muta guy and then the other day I'm more of a solid guy. It just happens with experience. I think like you start to think that you should start playing more solid. You look why you lost. You should start losing less to random stuff. So I think I can always use the old Reynor style sometimes. I think it's good to uh, you know bust it sometimes, like versus Serral. I do it, but yeah, I think playing more solid is the way, especially because you die to less random stuff, and that was my thinking for the last year. I think so. It
Well,
just
yeah.
wasn't day to day. It's not like you go, oh, I'm gonna be more solid today, and then the next day you're more solid. You just gotta learn to do it as well. It's not that easy.
Well, it's like you die to things and you go, man, I don't want to die to that again, right? And you start just
Yeah,
like cutting the risk out of your play. You're like, oh, if I kind of shift this, I can be safe against that. And you do
yeah,
enough, you do that enough times, and you kind of end up slowly reinventing your play style because you end up trying to cover every different possible option.
yeah,
There's players who just want to react to everything and be purely defensive, and the trap they often fall into is they get too predictable, but they also get a little bit too static. You know, they're not cutting corners, and their opponents start taking risks and getting ahead versus them and that sort of stuff. But there's always a balance in StarCraft between being unpredictable, being a gambler, being dangerous, right? You know, you're the guy who could go all in at any time at the poker table. Whereas if you play really safe and you go all in at the poker table, you're like, well, yeah, he's got a really good cards. Like, it's very obvious because he's such a safe player. He's only going to go, you know, and it's the same with StarCraft, where if you become predictable, it does make it easier to play against you. Do you try to just think of it like, all right, it's a best of five. Let's throw one wild build out, or is it different for every player you're playing against?
I mean, it depends. I think if the opponent is like I think if I think my I can beat my opponent easily in a straight up game, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. But yeah, sometimes I'll do crazy things even if my opponent is slightly worse, just to throw my like sometimes. For example, if we have a preparation tournament, I gotta play my opponent in 2 weeks.
Mm.
Just gonna do some dumb stuff, maybe a couple of games, just to throw them off their plan. So that's always good. If you always stay on the back foot, you're gonna die at some point. That's how Yona used to play last year, I think. We started figuring him out. Just go 80 drones before making a single unit, and would die at some point. So now I think he changed. He changed. Now he can be the aggressive guy. So that it makes him scarier. So yeah, I think you gotta do that. You can't really stay on the back foot always.
Yeah, there's like a thing where if you hit a really good cheese or a timing attack or any form of aggression that just there's something where it hits so hard and it just shocks your opponent, where you can even put fear into people, where you see people just start to freak out and play like too safe in the next game, where you're playing like rather standard, very defensive, very macro focused, and they're just not building probes for a little bit on their third base because they don't know what's coming. You know, there's like fear starts to get inside people's heads. So there's something where the moment someone's in their rhythm and their comfort zone and they know what to expect and they can kind of cut a little corner here, prepare ahead of time, it definitely makes their life a lot easier. So I think
Yeah.
I like that approach, right? A little bit of randomization in there. Not worrying too much about you playing the most perfect game because you understand that it's worth you playing a little bit imperfect sometimes just to mess things up for their flow, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like I like to do that kind of stuff. Like all in game one, for example, against a toss, and game two just go 17-17. They're gonna shit their pants for sure. They're gonna see the 17-17 and be like, "Oh, not again!" And then they start shield battery and stuff. You're chilling with your drones. Yeah, I like to do that.
Dude, I love that. The 17 gas 17 pool. It's like, yeah, that. It's like you don't know what's coming, man. You don't know what's coming. You're like,
It's
no,
just
taking a third hatch, just building drones, dude.
making overlord speed. Fast overlord.
Have you ever had a comeback which you were super proud of? So like where the game got really messed up, but you managed to drag it back. Is there any series that comes to mind?
Oh yeah, I think the game against Herald on Bloodbath, that one was good. Was it called Bloodbath? I don't remember.
Disco Bloodbath, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
the big the big map.
then I had a game yesterday against DNS. No, it was 2 days ago against DNS. That was one of the craziest comebacks I've ever had. I was on 3 bases against 5 bases and something. I think he was taking the 6 base. I was 110 supply with lurkers, and he had 170. My bases were mined out, and I had like 5 broodlords and lurkers, and I managed to come back that. And it was sick.
Jesus Christ, dude. There's something with you and lurkers. Remember actually your match versus hero as well with
Yeah,
lurkers.
I think lurkers are pretty ass, but sometimes if you have lurkers and broodlords, you can kill the lads that don't like late game, because they just
Ah,
blink on top of your broodlords. I always think you can come back with lurker and broods.
mm,
Yeah, it's very hard, and sometimes it happens. That's why I don't leave
yeah.
games when I have both.
Well, that's like the ultimate ground killing army. The lurker
Yeah.
broodlord combo is like you cannot take that out with a ground army,
So
right?
you force a late game, and the guys that play the one late game in their life have no clue what to do. So you can maybe come back.
That's my approach to PvZ. I tell you, I'm like, I don't want to make bloody carriers and tempests. Like, we're making 6 bases, 20 gateways that we're going. And if someone makes Lurker Broodlord, I get really triggered. So you're a wise
Yeah,
man. I'm like, no,
yeah.
don't do that. That's bad. That's not a good composition. What if I built air
Doesn't
units?
work.
And the Zerg's like, you're not going to build air units. You're a fucking idiot who just likes to A move zealots from 3 directions. And I'm like, oh, you got me. I'm like,
Always
that.
get them.
I'm like, I don't want to micro a late game fight. I just want to play like I play Zerg. I just want to send zealots in from every base and use warp prisms, man.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool, dude. Holy shit. I love that. I love that when you can have the comebacks like that. There's something as well about not being encumbered. So there's players who just keep their eyes open for any opportunity. So we had Bly on recently, and we had this. I was really just love listening to Bly talk because he makes comebacks happen every week in these online cups that he should not make happen. Like he wins these silly games where I'm like, oh, he's dead, and then he finds a way to win, and I'm like. There's something because you have this same characteristic to just stay focused on the goal, but you've also got this very cheeky attitude. Like you're always smiling. You seem to just be having a good time. You said you don't really get nervous very much. Little bit at BlizzCon, little bit your first time up on the big stage at like a DreamHack and stuff, but not that much. Like you seem to just be in your element. I think that's like powerful, right? Because if you think about it, it makes sense. You get to play StarCraft for a living. It is your job. You get to fly around the world and play this video game and just, be this general controlling a swarm of Zerg who are fucking up people's mineral lines constantly and winning hundreds of thousands of dollars at the same time. So it's like, it's this incredibly wise thing to just be chilled and enjoying every moment and having a fun time. Do you think that helps you as a player? Like, do you sometimes look at other players who look really tense and stressed out and you kind of go, what's there to be stressed out about?
Yeah, for sure. I think you play better, obviously, when you're not nervous. So you're vibing and stuff, and you're suddenly playing better than the guys that have sweaty hands and they're
Mom spaghetti, man. Yeah, the ones who are kind of shaking.
shaky. Yeah.
I used to be terrible with that. I was really bad with that, man. If I'd go back in time, I would just like slap my younger self and be like, "Stop being nervous, you friggin' dummy!" Just like you get to play the game.
Around.
Yeah, put on some music, have some fun, sort out your own internal monologue stuff. Just play the game and have some fun.
Yeah, I was blasting Italian rap in the BlizzCon finals.
Yeah, Italian rap.
Yeah.
My man, that's sick, dude. Can you please share with us just like one song that you would have been listening to during that, just so everyone can just get a taste of one song you were listening during one of the most epic series of last year.
Okay, let me see if I can find the playlist.
And I'll link this up in the YouTube description below, as well as in the podcast notes, which we don't really have a lot of, but in the podcast info, where we normally just put Reynor's information, but we'll throw 1 or 2 links that we talk about sometimes as well.
It was Spotify made the playlist. It was it's called Battle Royale, but now the songs changed a bit. Let me see.
Oh, yeah, they changed those playlists. That's really annoying when I go back to it.
It's really annoying, actually. Yeah. Now I changed I listen more to American rap and stuff. But yeah, let me see if I can. I used to listen to one of these songs called "This Is the Artist." Wait, I'll put it. I'll put the name on Discord.
Sweet, yeah, link it up to me.
This is my go-to. It chilled me.
I love hearing people's like epic music that they get in the groove to when they're playing. I remember I had periods where I'd listen to like dubstep. The other periods I'd listen to classical music, and I'd have like put on the most chill, just piano songs while I'm trying to play a very intense match.
This is one of the guys that got me vibing. I was chilling.
Gemitize. I'm not sure how to say that, but cool.
I was singing the songs while I was playing. I was enjoying my time. I gotta do that. If you want to win, you need to be relaxed, I think.
Yeah, man. Just have you gotta be able to enjoy the moment and just kind of be focused on the game. There's like a thing where sometimes when you are super focused, right, you feel like the game almost plays itself sometimes. You just kind of, do so many things, and it's like your brain almost shuts off sometimes. I imagine especially ZVT, that's a fast-paced matchup, gets crazy in the mid-game. You're a very multi-pronged guy. You love your mutas. I mean, that's going to happen a lot. Do you ever kind of get to the end of a series and someone asks you something about it, and you're like, oh, I can't even remember what happened in each game.
Yeah, it actually happens a lot, especially in TVZ, as you said. I go full autopilot. I just don't think too much anymore. It actually bothers me a bit when that happens. I feel like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I like thinking. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just start doing the things I usually do. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. But so
yeah.
it happens sometimes.
It's weird because like I think there's like a flow state where like you're actually executing really well, but it's happening too fast, so it's not really conscious thought, and then you don't catalog everything, but you were actually super focused and in the zone. But then
Yeah.
there's also your mind's kind of distracted and somewhere else. Like the worst thing that you'll hear a lot of people talk about in sports is like when you're nearing the finish line or when you're, getting down to that match point, the last thing you want to think about is yourself holding up the trophy and like you kind of like, oh, if I win this, I get to hold the trophy, like you don't want to think about that too much in the moment. Like you don't want to be like, oh, I can't think about it, but you want to kind of you don't want to rush to the finish line. You don't want to focus on the goal. You want to focus on what's in front of you and the task at hand, right? You don't want to psych yourself out. Have you ever had moments like that where you started thinking ahead to holding up the check or how sick it would be if you beat your opponent or anything like that, and you kind of feel like you sabotaged yourself in a big match?
Yeah, sometimes it happens. At WCS, when I see the trophy, I'm like, gotta stop looking at it.
You like that's my property.
Uh, yeah, look
Oh,
at these guys. They want to take it away. That's mine. Yeah, it happens a lot. It happens a lot.
do you ever have like a routine other than listening to rap feeling good? Do you ever tell yourself anything when you're starting a series, you're in the lobby? Do you just think about your build order? Do you close your eyes? Do you pray? Do you have a rabbit's foot you kiss for good luck? What do you do
Not
before a
really.
match?
Just I think I focus on my mindset. I always think like I always go into a match thinking that I should win. I think that's good because if you go into a match thinking you're gonna lose, you're definitely gonna lose. So you always gotta have a good mindset. So yeah, I think that's the only thing I really care about.
Yeah, I think it's something as well where there's a lot of variance in StarCraft. So win or lose, right? As long as you don't play like shit, usually that's the main
Yeah, yeah,
goal, right? Like you're always
yeah.
gonna lose games, lose maps, get outplayed sometimes. But it's always the hardest when you trip over your own feet and just do some dumb build order, or you get nervous, something like that.
Yeah. Especially with the builder. I think something is good, I do it, and then I get blasted, and I'm like, fuck me, man.
Shit.
It's like two base Mura.
You don't
I've
like
been
two
doing
base
it too
meter?
much. No,
Yeah.
it's terrible. Mura's already bad, and then you do them off of two bases. It's just terrible, terrible. Can't get worse than that.
Shit, man. Awesome. Well, this is being great, dude. I kind of want to start getting towards the finish line. You've already given me a lot of your time. Um, what just quickly since we didn't touch on it, what's the rest of your day gonna be like? What's a standard practice day in isolation? Like, do you do like 4 hour chunks, 2 hour chunks? Is it kind of random? You just play when you feel like it?
Yeah, I usually play in the around the evening, I think, because now no one plays, especially in the morning. I think I'm gonna go gym soon. And yeah, I'm gonna wait for the lads to wake up. Gonna play some games. Then I also have a tournament, I think, today. I think.
You said lads, but I thought you said lats, like the lat.
No,
So
no, no,
you
the
did you
lads.
mention gym, and then you're like, I'm gonna wait for the lats to wake up, and I was like, wait, what? You wait for your muscles to wake up? This is so weird. And then it clicked in my head, and I was like, oh no, I'm an idiot. It's fine. Reynor's not that weird.
No, I
Like,
don't do that.
I wait for the
I have.
boys to wake up. It's like,
Oh yeah. I have a tournament at 3, apparently. Nice.
awesome. What's the tournament? Just so people can catch you there.
It's a sick group actually. I play. Listen to this. Zest, Cure Rogue, and me. That's the group.
Was it Cure? Did you say?
Yeah.
Zest Cure Rogue. Oh my god, Jesus. All right, that's fun.
Listen. Jeez.
How do you mind playing with lag? Is it not too bad on US? Is it a bit annoying?
Ah, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. But I think it's worse for the Koreans, maybe on Central. I'm not sure. I think they like to talk a lot.
Mm,
They're gonna cry a lot about the lag. I'm not
yeah.
sure if it's that terrible actually. It's
What's the
bad.
name of the tournament? Do we know who's casting it? Just so I can plug it for those who are watching.
A this is the just gonna I'll give you the link.
AX Code CD Cynical Death Edition. Man, I love that we've got so much. This is Alpha Pro Series, right? Ah, okay, yeah. Cool. Alpha X Pro Series. Awesome. Yeah, they do some good show matches. That might only be on Africa. I'm not sure.
Wait, really?
Let me see. Oh no, they're doing it on Twitch these days. That's good. Yeah, I think
Nice.
Alpha X SC2 is where the English broadcast will be. It looks like Bel Air doing German, and there's some Chinese and Korean broadcasts as well. Cool. Awesome sauce. All right, man. So as we round up, a couple of rapid fire questions. All right.
Okay.
This is all super serious stuff. These will all very important, super
Yeah.
serious.
I imagine.
When you hear the word cheeser, whose face pops to mind?
Bly.
Bly?
Yeah.
Ah, man. Gets the cheese award. What about Macro God?
Me.
Hi-oh.
And the
You see,
Macro ones.
just see your own face just popping around. I
Yeah.
like it. Which ladder hero is going to be the next notable pro gamer?
Do we have ladder heroes?
Yeah, like I just mean like, someone maybe you've run into on the ladder, maybe someone who's an up and coming player, not known as much. I keep saying up and coming player, and people keep going, I kind of want to say Clem. And I'm like, you can't say Clem. First of all, he's like rank 2 on a Ligulac or something. And number 3, no.
Yeah, I don't think. Maybe one of the Christian Max packs. One of those.
Cristiano or Max Max, one of the
Yeah,
young uns, yeah.
they're the guys that get me on the ladder.
They're about 15. I think they're both about 15 years old, right? They're pretty young.
I think Christian is 17, 16.
Oh, he's maybe 17? Okay.
I think Max Pax is 12.
Oh, really? Max Max is 12? Holy crap.
I think it's 10 maybe.
Well, he plays Protoss, so it's fine. He'll get
no worries.
a WCS championship soon. No worries. What would you if you had 30 seconds? You get to teleport back in time 5 years. It's 2015. 12-year-old Reynor's there. Actually, you're so young. I'm changing this question. 3 years, because
Okay.
you go back in time 3 years. 14, 15-year-old Reynor. What do you tell him in 30 seconds to help him improve faster?
Start making a few roaches, my friend.
Start making a few roaches.
Stop it with the links, you idiot. That's what I'm gonna tell him.
Dude, there's an alternate timeline out there where we have that technology. We teleport you back. You say that. And then you're like, man, just keep losing with these shitty roach strats. Like, you're like, you know what? I'm going to go to university. I don't think StarCraft's cut out for me. I think that time traveling guy was lying. I don't think that's actually future me. And he was just telling me roaches. I don't know, man. Turns out the mutiling obsession is actually what unlocked your potential or something like that.
I want to try going back to that. Canceling every game. Tiny drones, not giving a shit about it.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that actually.
Oh, shit. Awesome, man. Yeah, I think we've talked about so many different things. This has actually been awesome. Thanks so much for making the time here.
Thank you for inviting me.
I want to get you on again in the future, so no doubt I will hit you up in a few months or 6 months or something later this year, early next year, and hopefully we can set up another show. In the meantime, what is Reynor's schedule like? Are you going to be streaming at all in the near future?
I'm not sure. With TSL, it's a bit difficult, but I'm gonna try. Yeah, I'm gonna try for sure.
All right. Well, we've got links down in the YouTube description for everyone to follow you. Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Insta. What are you most active on?
Twitter.
Twitter?
I like to shit. Yeah, I like to shit talk on Twitter.
Yeah,
I'm a big
Twitter's
fan
got
of
some
that.
good shit talk. All the esports
Yeah.
seems to still hang out on Twitter. It's kind of nice. In terms of the tournament stream, where there's people in chat asking for things, that's cool. We'll talk to those in a minute. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me, mate. I really appreciate it. So everybody, do follow Reynor at everything. And big thanks to, of course, Reynor's team and supporters. Last words for the fans before we let you go, my friend.
Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna try to keep doing my best. I feel like as soon as I can beat the guys with the widow mines, I'm gonna be unstoppable. So I'm gonna try to do that. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Keep cheering for me. I love you. Thank you.
Keep cheering for me. I will try to show good games. Thankfully, we're very happy to have you in the scene, Reynor. Can't wait to see you progress and overcome these widow mines at the moment. We'll see how things go, of course, with the new patch coming up as well. Appreciate you joining me. Thank you, everybody, for watching, of course. Don't forget the Pig Show is in podcast form on my Linktree link down below in the description. !, follow in chat if you're watching live. And you guys can get the audio versions there as well up on YouTube. We'll be up usually about 24 hours or so after we go live. Thank you very much, Reynor, for joining us, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye and good night.
See you.